Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In case you're new here, I'd like to welcome you to this channel, and I want to tell you that on this space you're valued, you're loved, and I personally celebrate you. On this space everybody is somebody, and so you're welcome to this. Today we'll be looking at a topic that talks about loving our children effectively. Loving children in the most effective way is crucial to their emotional, psychological, and even spiritual development. It has a way of affecting them emotionally, their emotional development, their comportment, and whoever they see themselves to be. It can either add to their self-esteem or destroy the esteem they have and give them a low self-esteem. So we're going to be looking at the ingredients that make for this kind of love that is needed for raising whole and complete children that you would live to be proud of. So today, without wasting much time, I'd like us to talk about the first thing, which is quality time. Yes, when we're talking about quality time, it's not about the quantity of the time, but about the quality of the time. The much, no matter how little that time is you spend with your children is very important, very vital in their development, in their spending dedicated time with your children is essential in the sense that it's not just all about the quantity of the time you spend, but the quality of the time you spend to be with them. And it's not just about you being around for the sake of being around, but engaging in activities they enjoy, and showing genuine interest in their world. That children's world is quite different from the world of adults, and so they have their world, they have a way of thinking, their worldview, their thoughts, and everything. You can't imagine how much they sit down to think, and so many things. So even if you're busy, spending quality time with them, no matter how short it is, goes a long way to add value to their lives and make them really feel special, really feel love, because children get the feedback of love from the things they feel. It's not just about what you say, but what you do and the feeling they get from the things you do. So make out time, no matter how short. Make sure it is qualitative, not about the quantity of the time. And the second thing we're talking about today is active listening. Many parents don't listen actively, and when we say active listening, it's not just like they are talking and you're doing other things and you say I'm listening, you're on your phone, you say I'm listening, you're working on your computer, you say and all of that. No, it still seems like the quality time still flows into the active listening session, in the sense that as they talk, you listen attentively and you put yourself in their position. You try to validate the things they say, the things they're talking about, and show empathy. So active listening helps you to avoid distractions. You do away with all forms of distractions and listen attentively at the time they are communicating with you. Try to make sure that you pay close attention to what they say and the things they say and their feelings. Do not be quick to push their feelings aside, because it's a common thing parents say do. And even myself, I used to be a victim of that, and I'm still trying to really overcome the fact that when they're talking to you and then at some point you feel like, oh, I already understand what you're talking about. That's okay, that's okay. No, allow them to finish what they're saying. Let them express themselves. And you understand that one thing that does is that it strengthens the bond you have with them. It strengthens that connection. It strengthens that deep feeling, that deep sense of connection you have with them, because it makes them feel loved. It makes them feel that they have a voice, they are respected, they have the right to for a fair hearing, for you to listen to them, and it helps their emotional and their psychological formation and all of that, to make them feel that, oh, there's something valuable in what they say, in as much as what they say may not really make sense to you. But when you listen actively, you'll be able to guide them, you'll be able to correct them, you'll be able to tailor some of their emotions, some of their thinking or thought pattern in a way that will come out powerful. This third one is something that we need to do consciously. And what is that? It is called positive reinforcement. Now, what this positive reinforcement does is that it helps you, it enables you to concentrate or focus on the good behaviors of the children, concentrate on, praising the good things they do, the little things they do, no matter how little. It's so easy, so possible for parents whose children, may not be, for example, doing well academically, or may not be doing well, may have some flaws or some deficiencies in one way or the other. And then the next thing you discover is you concentrate on those negative traits, those negative aspects, and then if you're not careful, you begin to see as if there is no good in that child, and then you talk down on the child. But one positive reinforcement does that it helps you, it enables you to concentrate on the positive traits of the child, to encourage the little wins of the child, to all the children. It also helps you to see the good sides of the children and talk to them about the good sides, the little efforts they put in. Praise it, talk about it, bring it out in a positive light, and make them see that their effort is appreciated, they can be better, they can do better. When you praise or speak good about the good things a child does, it encourages them to do more, it encourages them to do better and to become their best self. But when you concentrate on, correcting and just, talking about the ones they didn't do right, and every time that's the only thing you keep saying, you discover that they get to a point and the only thing they think about is, my parents don't love me, they don't see anything good in me at all. No matter what I do, I'm not good enough. And when a child gets to that point of saying that no matter what they do, they are not good enough, it means you're beginning to lose something in that child. That child is not turning out the best of them, and it can even drive them to the point of always trying to see themselves as inferior to others, as there's nothing really good about them and other people are better than them. But when you concentrate on reinforcing positivity, speaking the right thing, for Christians, I like to encourage you to speak the word of God, even if you're not seeing that thing you want to see yet, or you expect to see in your child. Speak the right thing you want to see, and when you speak those right things you want to see, you discover that at the long run, the things you want to see that you're saying begins to come to pass. And that's why the Bible speaking saying, it say that he called for those things that were not as though they were, and they came into existence. And so when God calls for those things that were not as though they were and they came into existence, he expects that we too will have the creative ability to call for those things that are not in our children, and we begin to see them. If there's anything lacking in your child and you really desire to see that happening in that child, the best way to do it is not just to begin to talk down or to exalt their flaws and their weaknesses, but for you to begin to see how you can encourage them. You see the good things in them, even no matter how small it is. Speak about that thing, talk about that thing, and then you encourage them. I came across a write-up some time ago about a child who was so naughty, so useless, according to the write-up. The child was a bully in school, and then the teachers considered the child a no good and so many things like that. And one of the days, the mother, a teacher wrote something in the book, wanted to send to a parent of another child, wrote a letter to send to a parent of a child, and mistakenly exchanged it and put it in the bag of this stubborn, unruly child. And then when the mother got home and she saw the letter, she called the teacher and said, "Oh, thank you so much for saying these good things about this boy. I promise that he will change from henceforth." And then the mother turned to the boy and told the boy, say, "Boy, your teacher really spoke great about you, and I see those things in you, and I've kept telling you about them, that you're good, you're great, you'll be awesome, you're meant to be a great person, you're bright." And that child felt for the first time something good is in me, and I never knew it. And then he went to school the next morning and met his teacher and told his teacher, "Thank you for those kind words you spoke to my mom and she told me about them. I promise that from today I'll be the best of me there is. And from that day, the child turned out to be somebody very, really very sweet. So positive reinforcement is very important if you want to see good results in the life of your children. Point number 4, and that point is about consistent boundaries. Yes, one thing children do is that they watch to see your reactions and your actions. I remember I told you that they learn a lot from the things you say and you do. So when you speak to a child about something, about boundaries, and you don't keep to the terms of those things you say, they tend to follow your orders. They tend to follow the instructions and do what they want to do because they just feel you're not firm on your boundaries. So boundary is very important. It comes into strike a balance, and that's why the Bible says in the book of Proverbs chapter 29 and in verse 15, it said the rod of correction. It said foolishness abounds in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it out. And then a child left to himself will bring shame. So when discipline is not instilled, when correction is not instilled, is not in place, when you are not strict with the boundaries you set for the child, you discover that the child will grow up and become very complacent. And then I listened to somebody some time ago, and he said something. He made a statement like, any weed left to grow on its own grow wild. And that is applicable to the life of children. When you leave your children to grow on their own without setting boundaries, they will grow wild, they will grow out of control. So children are like a plain board, and whatever you inscribe on it, whatever you write on it is what comes to stay. So when you begin to make sure that you insist on boundaries, and when you say something, if they do wrong and you tell them you're going to discipline them in one way or the other, ensure to follow it up. Don't say I'm going to do this and then you come back, you don't do it, you do it 2-3 times, it becomes the norm, and then you don't take the things you say seriously. So I remember a friend of mine was telling me about a child whose parents seized her phone for 2 years, and the child came up to say, I never thought my mom could do that. And so I was so shocked that she could do that, and that made me to begin to think, have a second thought, and I began to understand that, my mom is actually firm on her words. She doesn't really go back. So it is very important to strike a balance in all of these, and all these things will help to make your child feel loved effectively. I like us to wrap up at this point, and by wrapping up today, we'll just do a recap on the few points we've talked about. We've talked about 4 points. Number 1 is that you need to spend quality time with your children. Number 2, you need to listen actively. Number 3, you need to reinforce positively. And then number 4 is consistent boundaries. So with this, we come to the end of this for today, but do not go. This is not the end of it all. We're coming back for yet another part of it, which will be concluding in the next video. If you have enjoyed this video, I want you to give me a thumbs up, like the video, share, and subscribe to my channel. Help me to tell the other people so that they can be part of this community. Remember, everybody is somebody on this space. Till I come your way again, keep loving your children, keep living your best life, and do not forget that you're valued, you're loved, and I celebrate you. Bye-bye.